Hi, how's it going, friends? I'm Darkoburi, the collector, and today we're going to unbox this mega piece from Tsume here on the channel. For today's unboxing, we're going to open up this Gaara from the company Tsume, which honestly is a company I love. They have some amazing pieces, with the only downside being that the pieces arrive 1 or 2 years late. In this case, it arrived really late. They told me it was coming from Spain, and honestly, I thought, who could have sent me something from Spain? It's a French company, so I didn't think much of it. I sent someone from the Darkoburi team, and when they showed up with a box, I was like, no way. And this beauty arrived. So, we're going to have this super powerful character who appears in Naruto Shippuden, and of course, in Boruto. And it's called A Father's Hope and a Mother's Love. So, we're going to do the unboxing of this Tsume piece right here on the Darkoburi channel. We're going to analyze the box, which honestly is amazing. To start, let's check out the texture of the box, and we'll begin with the logo. First up is the company logo, which is right here, Tsume. It's no surprise that right here it shows which figure, which statue we're getting. It's Gaara during his fight. In a moment, I'll tell you more about this part of Gaara's battle. Here is his name, which is Sabaku no Gaara, or Gaara of the Sand. He was one of those who had one of the one tail. Yes, he had Shikaku, which was the one tail, and here we have the name. As I mentioned, it's a father's hope and a mother's love. If you look closely, here it even shows what Gaara has in red on his face. And on the rest, down here, you can see everything. Everything is really well outlined with the symbol of the sand. That's what they use. Right now, I'm using mine with the leaf symbol, and here it says high quality statue by Tsume. So, Tsume sells different figures. Among them are these, which are the premium ones, the top ones, the high quality statues, and then there are even smaller figures, which are a bit more affordable. And this is their premium, their best offering. On this other side, you'll see that it only has the Tsume logo. They don't add anything else. And now, let's move to the back. Here, if you look, we already have our figure or piece shown in color. If you notice, there are several parts here, and it tells us that we can find 2 forms that Gaara will have, one where he's kind of crouching, and another where he's standing. Here it tells us that this is a piece of which there were only 1,800 made. It's a collector's item. There are only 1,800 in the whole world, and here on the Darkoburi channel, you're going to see one of them. Here we see again the Gaara logo that he has on his face. Here we have a logo that doesn't have anything written inside, which is from Naruto Shippuden. The description comes in French, and the description comes in English. I'm going to give you a moment so you can look at this part and read it comfortably. If you notice, it's a mother's love and it's when he's fighting against his father. That's why it's called a father's hope. And now, after we've taken out the box that comes here made of styrofoam, here is this one that's made of dry snow. Why? Because it's pretty showy and I wanted to do it very carefully. Actually, it's very simple. It comes with this ribbon, which is honestly very practical. You just lay the box down, pull the ribbon, and it slides right out. Here, the only thing it has is the Tsume logo. But our friends at Tsume give us this beautiful ribbon that's completely covered with Tsume and HQS, which stands for high quality statue. Obviously, it also comes with our certificate, which is the first thing you see when you open the box. Here we have the Tsume logo again. And right here on the back, it tells you what number your piece is. So, out of the 1,800 that exist, we got number 1,282. And now, let's go ahead and unbox the certificate first. Then we'll unbox the statue itself. Here it is. I'll leave it here for you to take a look at for a moment. And, as you can see, if you look closely, here is Gaara's name. They handwrite, of course, the number 1,282, which is our piece. And this is a seal. We'll also show a photo of it in a moment so you can see it, where it says it's the guarantee seal that proves this is an authentic Tsume piece. It's signed here by someone from Tsume, and this is our certificate. We're going to keep this very safe because this piece is incredible, just like I have my death mask cancer piece stored perfectly. And now, let's get to the unboxing. I'm also going to go through this really quickly because, if you notice, the whole box is covered in tape. But this time, I'm not going to use my usual knife. Instead, I'm going to use the yellow flash of Konoha here. This is going to be my tool to open the box. But obviously I'm going to do it lying down so I can take out each piece one by one. I don't want anything falling out. So give me a moment while I do this unboxing and show you the piece once it's unwrapped. Alright, now let's start taking apart our little puzzle. There was a lid on this side that I already removed. If you look, I can tilt this just a little so you can take a quick look. This was the bottom part of the whole structure, and let's say this was the middle part. So I'm going to set this aside, because the most impressive part of the figure is this, so we can start putting it together. And these are the accessories that go next to the base, next to the mother, and at the end we're going to place the Kazekage, who is Gaara. So I'm going to remove this piece. We'll be right back to continue with this unboxing. And now, just like Jack the Ripper said, let's take it one piece at a time. Let's start taking out each of the pieces that are in here. The first one is the base. Here it says Gaara, which is the Tsume piece. If you look closely, we'll show you the certificate in a moment that tells us what number piece it is. What the box said, if you manage to read it, is that it's made with real sand. At the end of the day, this resin or this statue has the entire top part covered with real sand. If we zoom in right here on this part, you can check out the details of the sand. And for those of you at home who can't touch it, it really does have the texture. It feels rough. So right now, I'm going to grab it as if it were volcanic rock to scrub my face and do something like that to remove dead skin. But honestly, this whole part here where the pieces are embedded is completely smooth. But aside from that, everything else really does have that real sand detail. And why is that? Let's throw this away. Because Gaara comes from the Sand Village, which is where he gets his powers from. And what we know is that he has a sand barrier that automatically protects him. If someone tries to attack him, the sand automatically covers him. Gaara's first fight was in the tournament where the Genin were, and he fought against Rock Lee. Rock Lee can't beat him. He's trying and trying and trying, but Gaara keeps protecting himself with the sand armor that's on his skin and with the sand shield that rises up on its own. So, what happens? Let's bring out a little Gaara figure here so we can look at him and remember our powerful warrior, our incredibly powerful Gaara. What happens? Rock Lee comes over and takes off two things he had on his feet and says, "Hey, you know what, Guy-sensei? Can I take them off?" Guy-sensei says, "Well, sure." So he takes off two weights he was wearing on his feet, throws them to the ground, and the floor sinks in. So now, Rock Lee picks up an incredible speed, and that's when he really gets beaten up. Until the moment comes when he gets caught in the sand coffin and Gaara breaks Lee's leg. That's when we saw him as a ruthless, loveless, brutal person. But as the series goes on, they start to show us why. So I'm going to keep going with the unboxing until I get to this part. And now, the next piece I had to take out was this one, the mom. And if you see me looking scared, it's not because I'm dirty or just came from playing soccer in the street. It's because I'm taking out the pieces and the sand really starts to fall off. The little parts, if you look closely, are completely covered in sand. And what the box description said is that it has some subtle shading to mimic the effect of sand on this piece. If you watched Naruto Shippuden, in the fight where Kazekage Gaara faced his father, who controlled gold sand, you can see that this is made from Gaara's own sand. So let's put it down very carefully and keep taking out the other pieces. And now, if you notice, I had the base a little upside down. Why? To place the Kazekage on this side. Here you can see the whole effect of the mother, who really is Gaara's mom. And look at the effects on the hand here, if you notice. Those are the mother's fingers. And see how the sand is dripping down, if you notice. Here it all is. In the fight scene, Gaara is fighting against his father. And his father hated him. I mean, first he was born as a child, a little kid, and they say he was premature. Second, Gaara, when he's born, it's because of him that his mother dies, so his father starts to hate him, and then they split. The Jinchuriki, the one-tailed beast, which is Shikaku, and he becomes the village's demon. So nobody liked him. Here it is. We see that at the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, Gaara is killed because they extract the one-tailed beast from him. And they said that anyone who was a Jinchuriki, when their tailed beast was removed, the host would die. So he dies, but then comes one of the fights I like the most in the whole Naruto saga, which is Chiyobu-sama's. Obviously, no, Sakura, but rather Chiyo versus Sasori, when they start the puppet fight. Obviously, they were trying to rescue him, because Deidara had taken Gaara. And they start to rescue him. What was the technique that I liked? When Chiyobu-sama starts, with the finger-to-finger technique using the puppets. And Sasori says to her, "Ha ha ha, you conquered a village with that." And then he opens his chest. He takes out the part of his heart. And he brings out 100 puppets and says, "I conquered an entire nation with these 100 puppets." And that was the puppet battle. Let me know in the comments, which fight did you like the most from Naruto's Shippuden? For me, without a doubt, it takes away the KUK final, which really is a spectacular fight. Guy Sensei versus Gaara, wow, that was one of the best. But besides that, among the more regular characters, Chiyobu-sama versus Sasori is my fight. Top. And now, I'm going to take out all the other pieces. So I'm going to do it a little faster to start assembling everything you see here on the statue. If you look, everything here has holes where the other sand pieces get attached. And honestly, I'm already getting covered in sand. In a moment, we'll do a close-up so you can see the quality. So I'm going to assemble everything. At the end, we'll choose which of the two Gaaras we like more, the one that's crouching or the one that's standing. So let's do a quick assembly. I still have quite a few pieces left. So let's get to it. Now let's do a little time lapse. If you notice, here's another base to make a second figure. Like I said, it comes with one figure for you to place inside the piece, and there's a second one. So you can set it up here. It doesn't lose any of the sand effects. And here it is, if you look. It's still from some high quality statue. Honestly, they really nailed it. I'm almost done now, just a few pieces left. Another thing I like is that these parts are magnetized here. There are pieces where, just by looking at the opening here, that's where you're going to fit it in. It's actually really simple now, if you notice. Let's take a look at it now that we're not in fast forward. Here it is, we take out the piece, and as you can see, it's completely covered in sand. And the shape it has is exactly what you're looking for in each of the openings. And the advantage is that they're magnetized. What does it mean if you want to remove it? You just pull it a little and they come out really easily. So that's the advantage of Tsume. Honestly, we saw it with Dead Masked Cancer, and now if you notice, this part is really big. So I say, oh, is this the piece I'm missing for this part? So let's speed it up again to finish putting it together. And that way, we'll have Mother's Love ready so I can tell you about the fight that happened. Heads up, there are spoilers coming. This fight is coming up, and now, let's finally check out the awesome figure. And now, we're back to our normal speed. If you notice, here was the other Gaara piece, which we're about to look at and decide together. Which one do you like more? We'll leave it here for a bit, so we can take out the pieces we're missing. And there are two very important things we're missing. The first thing is, if you remember, when we did the Dead Mask unboxing, the name of the piece, here it says Gaara with the sand symbol, which obviously shows where this part is supposed to go. We put it right here in the little slot where it was missing. Here we have both of Gaara's faces. You get to choose which one to put on, and the second most. Important thing for me is our little plaque with our serial number. I'm going to show it to you here. Let's do a really cool close-up right here. Let's confirm that our piece is number 1282 out of 1800. Since I also keep my cancer piece here with me, here we can see that our cancer piece was number 1060. As you can see, here we have both plaques, and they're practically the same size. We're only going to leave Gaara's plaque, which is the piece we're working on. And now, let's wrap up this part by deciding which of the two we're going to use, which face we're going to put on, and how to finish our mother's love figure. Now that we have everything assembled and we've cleared the area for more comfort, you can see there are two faces here, like I mentioned before. In a moment, we'll zoom in on both faces. To me, they're practically the same, except that one has slightly wider eyes here, like the eyes are looking up a bit more, while the other has a more neutral gaze. So, there's no difference in the face. We see that Gaara is a character who was born a redhead, with no issues. He's had red hair since birth. But he didn't have this birthmark. He only got it when he killed, so to speak, his uncle. I can't remember if it was his uncle or aunt, but it was his mom's sibling, right? I mean, I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I can't remember. But it was an Umbu from the Sand Village who was sent by Gaara's father to kill him. Why? So that the one tail, the Achibi, would come out. And what happens? Well, that's when he starts causing chaos, to see if he has a temper or not. And they say Gaara loses it. The father says he loses it and tries, and he sends people to kill him many times. But what's the worst part of all this? That the father tells them, tell him his mother didn't love him. So, he says, now the Samba says, it's just that your dad sent me to kill you, and all that. And what he tells him is, at the end of the day, you killed your mom. It was your fault. That's why she didn't love you. She hated you. And that's when he really loses it. But the truth is, he says, you know what? That's not true. The truth is, your mom loved you very much. Since I was pregnant with you, I was very happy, very content and everything. The dad is fighting against the other dad. And like I said, he controls it like it's gold. Well, it is gold, but in the form of sand. And he's fighting him and says, the truth is, your mom really did love you. She loved you from day one. Then he tells him that he's the Kazakage. And not only that, but he's also the leader of the entire Shinobi Alliance in this ninja war. And he says, you know what? The truth is, I'm really proud of you. Your mom left you. The father's attack comes crashing down, like a whole rain of gold, and that's when it automatically forms. Now, it's the sand that protected Gaara. It forms automatically with his mother. That's why it's called a mother's love and a father's hope. The father's hope when he was being killed and was revived by Edo Tensei, and the mother who, here, obviously, came back in the form of sand to shield Gaara. And now, the final moment has arrived. Look, here is our Gaara. I'll bring it a little closer so you can see. In a moment, we'll do a close-up once it's set up on the piece. He comes with the ninja war vest, just like the whole Shinobi Alliance. He always carried this gourd, let's call it that, this vessel where he kept his sand, and it always had this marking on it. Here we can also see his mark, his red hair. What I can't see, and I don't remember in Naruto Shippuden, is whether he wore his Shinobi Alliance headband, because everyone had stopped wearing the ones from their individual villages and instead wore the one representing all the villages together as part of the Alliance. I don't see the headband on him. I don't see anything here. If you look, he's just wearing the outfit. Here he has the vest, this part here, the part that covers the vest, and his traditional. Well, I call it a canteen, but you can correct me on what you call it. His gourd where he carries extra sand for his powers. If you look, here he has his footwear, his feet, and of course they would wrap certain parts with bandages to withstand hits, falls, and movements. Between the two, let me know in the comments which one you think is better. Honestly, I love this one to go with my mother's love piece. So So let's put it together. If you notice, he's positioned right there on his sand, and his mother is covering him. Why don't I choose this one? Because if you remember from Naruto Shippuden, it was the part where he was being protected, obviously with the sand, from an attack. So he can't really look all imposing, because he was actually being attacked by someone who had been Kazekage. So he's defending himself. And the other piece we have here, we're going to set it up, which is just Gaara, plain and simple. So tell me which one you liked more, this one or this one, and I'll give you a moment to look at both pieces without any problem. And now, after we've taken a look at the piece, which honestly is amazing. All these effects, the shadow, even how the hair looks. The hands, if you notice how the sand is dripping from the elbows. The sand coming out, seeking Gaara's protection in this fight. Honestly, it's incredible. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And now, if you liked this video, leave a comment below. If you didn't like it, also tell me what you didn't like about the piece. For me, honestly, it's incredible. What other unboxings would you like to see? Honestly, we have quite a few pieces left to unbox. We're really getting a lot of quality content on the channel now. A lot of pre-orders are finally coming out, which last year, from some Prime 1 studio, first 4 figures, they weren't sending anything because of COVID issues. Now things are starting to speed up a bit. And a piece of advice I can give you when pre-ordering these pieces is, first of all, this piece is going to cost you around 15,000 Mexican pesos. With the pre-order, that's all you're going to spend. But on the resale market, you can start finding it for up to 80,000 pesos. It's outrageous. If you look for it on eBay, this piece sells out fast, especially when it comes to iconic anime characters. And Tsume, well, they don't make any other figures or statues except for iconic characters. The advice I give you is, if you're going to do a pre-order, they let you choose whether you want to pay in 1 payment, 2, 3, up to 12 payments, and they leave the shipping and the last installment for the very end. What I used to do was pay it all in one go, no problem, but that single payment doesn't get charged until the end. And if, in the end, you're not able to pay, you lose the deposit you gave them as a guarantee and you lose your item. But if they let you pay in convenient monthly installments that are charged to your credit card or PayPal account, you can choose 12 payments, and the full price of the item gets charged over those 12 installments. That way, you secure your item and all you have to do is arrange for shipping once it's ready. So, this is how it works with all luxury pieces like these, as I mentioned, from Prime 1 Studio, first 4 figures, and all the other studios that make these high-quality resin figures. Keep that in mind so you never miss out on your piece. And another tip you should check out is to visit the online store. You already know we have caps, thermoses, mugs, and a whole kit of Darkoburi collectibles. Check out all our social media and our website. Remember, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, where honestly, we've been doing really well. And here we have all the upcoming unboxings, which are absolutely amazing. Leave a comment, you know the drill. Turn on the notification bell. Hit that super powerful like button. I love it. It gives me all the feels. Tell us anything you want, anything you know. Tell me what the symbol Gaara has here means. What is that kanji he has here? What does it mean? Also, write it down so everyone else can know too. Which fight did you like the most from the last Ninja War and Naruto Shippuden? Let us know in the comments too. Remember to turn on all notifications, like this video, share it with all your friends, and you know, Darkoburi, peace out.
you.